Let me know whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm rolling. I'm ready.
Well, welcome to a little interview series. Would you like to introduce yourself, your name, your career, and your goals?
Yeah. So, hi, my name is Patricia Robinson. I have quite a few titles, but the main one's Chief Administrative Officer for Greater Jamaica Development Corporation, which is a 58-year-old economic development organization in which we support economic development, closing the racial wealth gap, supporting the small business entrepreneur community. And then on the weekends, I have a public affairs show that's on radio. It's on 4 stations in New York City. It's called Conversations on the Block. It's a 1 hour talk format, which I get to talk with leaders, organizations, people just making a difference in our everyday lives. And that is broadcast on 94.7, 102.7, WCBS, and WFAN Sports Radio. And then when time allows and I'm selected, I also teach. So I'm an adjunct professor, and I've been doing that for about 6 years. So I teach at Westchester Community College, and most recently had the opportunity to join St. John's University. That's a little bit of what I do. I have other things, but those are the main things.
What has been your biggest failure and how did you learn from it?
Probably would say my biggest failure has been my biggest lesson, the inability to recognize my own power. As you know, I'm an author of a book, my first time book called Awakening the Limitless Within, but it was the inability to recognize that I had power for so many years that I sat on idly because I was afraid of the environment. I would let people dictate to me how I would shape and show up in different situations. So it took some courage to learn how to move that forward within yourself when it's not being welcomed, invited, possibly rejected, and with little or no experience, and doing that in fear. I could have never thought the person who I was before could have turned into who I am today.
What were practical steps that you took to start tapping into that power and moving through the fear?
So I am a avid listener, and I compare notes in my mind in terms of identifying behaviors that could inspire me, behaviors that make me feel uncomfortable. And I utilize all of that to make good decisions for myself. So if I'm in an environment that I can't control, where people are not making me feel welcome or wanted, I have an understanding how to navigate in spaces like that. Yeah, so I think it's just really listening and learning, having like a sense of critical thought, right? Be present in the situation so you can really understand what's happening to you and really understand how you want to feel and what you're trying to take out of that.
How do you have confidence in your own voice, regardless of all the voices around you?
So I think your intuition is normally going to be your gut feeling. We have like this sense of when we're doing right, we feel right. When we are doing something that doesn't feel right, our body will signal us, and you'll start to double back, or you'll try to justify a thought that's not right and push it in. I think that we need to start paying attention to our intuition just a little bit more, and then pulling in all of the research. And so one of the things could be, hey, I'm going to talk to someone, get their opinion. But at the end of the day, you have to own what you're doing. So if I'm doing something because people are telling me to do it, but it's not innately in me, then I'm not going to be confident in doing it. That's where your courage comes in, and you're just going to kind of have to, how they say, stand 10 toes down on your own and say, you know what? I'd rather see it all the way through than to walk away with I wonder what would have happened if I just followed through with myself. And when you accomplish something, even if it doesn't give you the results or it didn't get received, you did it. Guess what you are now? You're more confident because you did it, no matter what, right? Versus you not doing it and you like, oh my goodness, I should have did that. I got to do better. Next time I'm going to do it. Just do it.
And if you had one message to give, what would it be? What's a message on your heart?
I probably would say, I think we need to pay attention to ourselves. And so that could be in a myriad of ways, right? How can you be the best version of yourself? What are you shortcutting with yourself that you need to stop shortcutting? Where are you spending too much time that is not benefiting you, that you could put that time to something else? The more that you spend time with yourself and grooming yourself in areas, the more confident you will become just because you're doing it. And then when you go into spaces with other people and you start to compare yourself, I don't want to be in a room like that, nor do I want to have to pretend or perform. So I probably would say spending more time with yourself, getting to know yourself and what your strengths are, leaning into smart people, into books, to things that make you better. So every time you go out, you have this high sense of self-awareness. I feel like, well, I know there's only one of each of us, and we're uniquely and divinely made, right? And so you have your strength that no one can duplicate. How you execute and tap into it is completely up to you. If you let it lie dormant, it's going to lie dormant. If you activate it, it's going to be activated. So don't be afraid of your thoughts.